to be more efficient on offense, what you want is to generate more threes and free throws. Again, not every shot is created the same. So let's talk about generating more threes. One way that you can generate more threes and generate them very effectively is understanding that concept of points per possession. And this is, again, a couple of years old, but this is in the NBA, the points per shot. A catch and shoot three was generally generating about 1.12 points per shot, meaning the catch and shoot threes were going in. What's that? That's probably about 35 to 40% of the time, league wide. And so anytime a player took a shot over the course of the season, it averaged out to about 1.12 points per shot. A pull-up three was less than a catch and shoot three. In the NBA, a catch and shoot two was less than the pull-up three, and the pull-up two less than the catch and shoot two. That's why shots off the dribble are not as valuable as catch and shoot shots. So you have to help your team understand it's not just shooting more threes. What threes do we want to shoot? We want to shoot catch and shoot threes. Your better players, you might want to allow them to shoot off the bounce threes. But as a rule of thumb, catch and shoot threes are better because that's a 0.15 point per shot. That's a lot over the course of 82 games. And my statistical research at the high school level, the gap is even wider off of catch and shoot threes versus off the dribble threes. Get your team to shoot more catch and shoot threes and the other team to shoot more off the dribble threes. Your win rate is going to go up just off of that. Another way to generate more threes is get better spacing. And just like we talked about with Steph Curry, the better spacing you have, the more drives to the rim they're going to open up, the more cuts to the rim they're going to open up, right? The more you can spread the defense, force them to guard the length and the width of the floor, the more better spacing you have, the better cut opportunities and drive opportunities you're going to have. The next thing is this. I call it the D'Antoni effect. It's not hard to do a little research and figure out that many players, especially role players, have their best statistical seasons when they played for Mike D'Antoni. If your players know, hey, the better three-point shooter you are, the more we're going to want you to take shots in the games. That's going to motivate them to work on their game on their own. It's going to free them up to become better shooters, to become more creative. And all of a sudden, they're putting in more time on their own on these things, and they're going to be better for you. And so a lot of coaches are, probably anti-three and don't want a lot of players to shoot threes. If you actually give more freedom for your players, again, not everyone taking the same amount of threes, but more freedom to shoot, it's going to give them more, a higher level of ownness on themselves to work on their shot and become better shooters. The fourth thing I say about generating more threes is it's just motivation. If your team understands, say, we're going to shoot a lot of threes and the best shooters are going to take the most threes, that's going to have more time for them to work on their own outside of practice. Hey, spend time before practice, spend time after practice. That's a tangible skill that you can immediately track and measure for your team. Again, you want to have more efficient offense, you're going to take more threes. You want your team to be better shooters, they're going to have to understand that and be motivated to work on their shot more often. So that's been generating more threes. I do believe there are two ways to generate more effective threes. As we talked about, every three is not the same. Number one, corner threes. Corner threes across every level go in at a higher rate. The second thing, like we talked about before, are catch and shoot shots. You want to really, really focus on getting your team to shoot catch and shoot shots or catch and shoot threes over off the bounce threes. Catch and shoot is going to be worth more than shoots off the bounce. Again, generate better shots for your team. Get more effective threes off of corner threes and off of catch and shoot threes. Let's go ahead and we will do this. We'll add two more to the list. Let me get my PowerPoint back up. Oh, I got to share my screen first. Oh, this is so good. Third thing I say is in range. What is in range for all your players can be different. The more you can work on them extending their range, high school player to college three, college player to the NBA or WNBA three, that's going to give them more effective. They're further out. The defense is not going to guard them that far out. You must increase the range of your players. And the last thing is this, uncontested shots. I talked about it before, but I cannot hammer it home enough. The most effective threes are uncontested threes. All right, this is one of my nerd graphics right here. What you will see right here, this is the distance of our shot, 0 feet from the rim, 24 feet away from the rim. This is the NBA from a couple of years ago. And then the defender distance, if the defender is right on top of us versus the defender being more than 9 or 10 feet away. You'll see all of a sudden from distance, 24 feet, we're talking Dame, Steph Curry range back there, Diamond Taurasi range. Look at the percentage that was going in, especially when those defenders were further away. The closer we were to the rim here, right, the further. That's why any shot at the rim is not always a great shot. You can see when we're 4 feet away from the rim, but the defender's within 1 foot, we're only shooting 49%. But if we're within 4 feet of the rim and that defender's 4 or 5 feet away, all of a sudden our percentage goes to 80.6% in the NBA. Uncontested threes are better than contested threes, right? From further away, that 20-foot level. All of a sudden, and it's interesting here where it's a little bit lower when the defender's further away, but then it normalizes the further the defender gets away. Uncontested threes are extremely more valuable than contested ones. So I talked about efficiency in your shot generation being threes and free throws. So let's talk about generating more free throws. Love that picture. We can talk about a different week, but actually shooting underhand is a higher percentage if your team will actually buy into it, but we're not going to talk about that tonight. Generating more free throws. One way is just understanding and helping your players understand this. Free throws are typically worth 1.5 points per possession or points per shot. I talked about earlier, a corner three, 1.2. At the rim, 1.2 to 1.3. Free throws, 1.5. The free throw is the most valuable shot in the game of basketball. We shoot so many threes sometimes that we don't get our free throw rate, the rate that we shoot free throws in the possessions, high enough. We must be intentional with shooting free throws. It's the highest point per shot across any level. One way to generate more free throws is going to be off of ARM. So now our players have to understand it, right? Understand the points per shot, points per possession, but off of ARMs. And ARM is simply that air the defense. It's getting to the rim and using a ball fake at the rim, either a shot fake or a pass fake to move the defense. I'm more of ARM is more of a ball fake for me, a ball fake or a shot fake. Sorry, shot fake at the rim to get the defender up in the air, off their feet, leaning. As we create contact, that ARM will get to the free throw line more often. We can't just hope the defense fouls us. We have to put the defense in a position to foul us. Third thing is this. Teach your players the concept of nostril time. That would be when I have the ball, if I'm going up and into the defense, I'm actually going to get my lead elbow out and go up and through the defender's nose. Now, I'm not headhunting, I'm not swinging my elbows, but I have the right to my space. And if I can get that ball in a powerful position on my outside shoulder going to the rim, my elbow's out. If I jump, again, straight up, but lead with that elbow a little bit, that defender is, if they're leaning in, the foul's going to be on them. And maybe they might be leaned out, which is going to make it more of an uncontested layup. So even if they don't foul me, I'm getting a cleaner look at the rim. The last thing to talk about generating more free throws is actually building foul stations into your practice. I stole this concept from the Detroit Pistons. They did this when Jeff Van Gundy was there a handful of years ago. When my friends, Jamin Copeland was there watching, told me about it. In their practices, they were there during their training camp. Every day, they would spend time at foul stations. How to draw fouls on the drive, how to draw fouls at the rim, how to draw fouls on three-point shots. Like, you've got to teach your players how to draw fouls if you want to generate more free throws. A lot of content. Went over a lot of different things, a lot of different concepts. I know you enjoyed it because, man, that stuff's made me such a better coach, has made our teams better during our in-season development. And so as you watch this video this week, shoot me a message and let me know what really stuck out to you, coaches. Let me know what questions you have. Let's continue this conversation to talk through the questions you have when it comes to different things that we talked about.